Hey there guys, I'm Will and welcome to FP1. We've just finished round 2 of the F1 2020 season in Styria, and another exciting race, a lot of things to talk about here. So Paul di Resta came over the Sky commentary and said there wasn't any Mercedes domination going on. I disagree a little bit with that statement. I mean, you know, Hamilton finished 14 seconds ahead of anybody else. Mercedes won 2 with Verstappen in 3rd, and, you know, Verstappen, I think, you know, he finished 20 seconds behind, but he had tried to pit to get the fastest lap, but Mercedes were just in a different ballpark today. I think Verstappen sounded very dejected and very demotivated over the radio, just kind of like, well, I'm not going to catch up with these guys, and yeah, it was kind of evident. Mercedes were in a completely different league today, really, and let's just hope the other teams can catch up later on in the season. Otherwise, yeah, we're looking at very much of a 2014 situation here. That said, there still was a lot of exciting things to talk about. Let's start with the start of the race as well. You know, very, very exciting. Several cars out of position. The racing points after the wet qualifying were down. I think Perez went out in Q1 and Stroll out in Q2 when those cars really could have been fighting up there at the top of the pack. So they were out of position. The Ferraris, I'd like to say they were out of position, but they really weren't. And, you know, we got Russell as well in the mid-pack when really that car shouldn't have been there. And Williams, you can see I'm repping the Williams merch today. Oh, I'm gutted for them, man. We'll get on to that. But yeah, back to the start. Let's talk about Ferrari. And yeah, so earlier in the week, you know, Charles Leclerc went back to Monaco. Got in a little bit of trouble for that as well. Went to go back and see his girlfriend. Now, you know, he was obviously, well, maybe was mounting a few things back in Monaco, but I don't think he expected to be mounting Sebastian Vettel at the start of the race. And yeah, that turn 3 instant, it was sloppy and it was Leclerc's fault. It was very big of him to come out straight away and apologise and say, yep, that was on me, fair enough. Was expecting an I am stupid, but we didn't. We kind of got a variation of that over the interviews at the end of the race. But yeah, Ferrari, it just doesn't get any better for them, does it? I mean, Mattia Binotto, he's got to be looking behind him. There'll be some people coming for his job now. I think the way he's managed that team this year has just not worked, and the way he's managed the Vettel-Leclerc rivalry has just not worked. And this was another flashpoint. And yeah, I'm not holding up much hope for Binotto anymore, I'll be honest. But not a great race for Ferrari. Would they have got points? Maybe. That car looked like it was on the fringes of the top 10, and that's about it. They are in trouble this year. They really are. And next year as well, you know, it's not good. It's really not good. So fingers crossed they can, you know, try and get something that just try and get their momentum back and get their mojo back. I mean, they had brought upgrades, which Leclerc destroyed today. The upgraded floor was destroyed in that collision with Vettel. Can you imagine there was a upgraded rear wing on Vettel's car? That would hurt. But I think it was the upgraded front wing on Vettel's car. And yeah, it's going to hurt Ferrari a lot because now they don't know whether those upgrades work in a race sense. In qualifying, they didn't seem to change much. I mean, the qualifying was actually worse from last week. So, yeah, lots of question marks around Ferrari, lots of things to worry about. So, fingers crossed they can get the rest of that upgrade package in Hungary and can really start making strides, or they're in for a tough year. Now, obviously, repping the Williams merch, I've got to get onto Williams now. I mean, George Russell, P12 in quali, got promoted to P10 because Leclerc was a bit of an idiot and got done for red flags. And you know, he was doing so well, and then I saw him around Kevin Magnussen. I was like, oh, this isn't going to end well, is it? I mean, he's well, it's a Haas, you know, it's either Grosjean who'll go off and hit him, or it's Magnussen that will go off and hit him. In the end, though, it was Russell that did it all on his own, sadly, by the looks of things. He was going around the outside of turn 5 or turn 6 and just sort of lost it. They never actually showed any replays, which is a little bit weird. Guess, you know, he's getting the Carlos Sainz treatment, but we just saw this Williams go off in the background, and you're like, oh, okay, poor Russell. And yeah, I mean, Williams, I think, is everyone's second favourite team, you know, and it's, you know, they were looking so up after qualifying, and it's just a shame that things have kind of, this was their best chance to score points, let's be honest, you know. And yeah, it's just all gone down the drain for them, really. I mean, they were kind of stuck at the back after that. Now, would Russell have been able to get points today? Probably not. There weren't enough retirements for that, but yeah, a real shame for Williams. You know, even if it was like a P11, it would help them in the Constructors' Championship if someone like Alfa or Haas also end up on a fat 0 at the end of the year. So yeah, not great for Williams. Hopefully they can bounce back. I really do hope they do, but a big opportunity lost this weekend. So strategies are something that I don't normally talk about in these types of videos, but today it was obviously very interesting with the wet qualifying on Saturday, meaning everyone on Sunday gets free choice of tyres, and there were a lot of people did kind of go for that soft to medium route. There were a few outliers there. Daniel Ricciardo, for example, did it the other way around, started on the mediums, which to be fair, looked like the better quality of tyre, you know? He was a lot faster than a lot of the other cars in that first stint. I think he was probably fastest bar the top 3. He was even quicker than Alex Albon in the other Red Bull. So, you know what? Fair play to Ricciardo. He did really well in that first stint. I think he got stuck too much behind Ocon. To be fair, if I was Renault on that one, I would have let Ricciardo through. Ricciardo was obviously asking for that on the radio, but then ended up fighting with Ocon anyway and lost quite a lot of time to, I think it was Perez in the race. It was Albon, one of the two of them. So, yeah, I don't think it was particularly well managed from Renault, but we did see some good racing out of that, so you've got to give it there. But yeah, switched on to the soft halfway through the race, and at that point just kind of fell away. And maybe he was on some different engine mode to kind of protect the engine. Obviously, we saw Esteban Ocon retire quite early with some sort of mechanical problem, so maybe Renault were just being quite safe, making sure Ricciardo could get to the end, even if that meant he was limping home. But yeah, it was very interesting to see the medium tyre being probably the better race tyre this weekend, and that's on pure pace as well, which you don't really see that often. Pierre Gasly also had a very interesting strategy, going from the soft to the hard tyre, then back to the soft again. Now, maybe he'd like that sort of performance on the night after the race, but in the actual Grand Prix itself, the performance wasn't great, and yeah, it just didn't really work for Gasly. I think he ended up slipping behind the Williams cars. He did pick those places back because they're Williams cars, but yeah, it was quite strange. Quite a bold choice putting on the 2-stop, and why they went for the hards in the middle, I really don't know. Maybe they just realised that the hards just didn't work, which in a lot of these situations they don't. So yeah, I mean, hats off to AlphaTauri for trying something, but yeah, poor Gasly today, because he almost had such a good qualifying. He looked like he was going to be in the top 5 during that wet session, but sadly in the end fell back to the lower half of the top 10. But I mean, you've got to try something. You got hats off for trying it. And finally, then, let's talk about those last few laps. So we've got to start talking about Albon and Perez. And Perez, he dived down the inside of Albon. Or in fact, was it going around the outside? I can't remember. But either way, we nearly had a very similar accident to what happened with Albon and Hamilton, with Albon again having contact made. That time, Perez was the one that came off worse. And I'm not going to lie, as much as I hate to see it, it would have been very funny to watch Albon go through that spin again from a Mercedes power car, from effectively last year's Mercedes as well. But in the end, Perez was the one with no front wing, and they kind of cut away from him. We were like, oh, okay, Perez is still there. But all this time, you've got this Stroll, Ricciardo, and Norris battle catching up, and we didn't really realise to the last few laps. Stroll, I'll have to be honest, I can't really defend him here. He was a bit rubbish today. I mean, Perez flew past Ricciardo, but Stroll was stuck behind him for another, 30-odd laps, or 20, 30 laps. It was, not the best performance from him today. And, that allowed Norris to catch up as well. And Norris had an incredible last couple of laps. Started like P7 or P8 going into lap 70 and finished in, 5th? So, fair play to Norris again, getting that McLaren well up there. And that will help him later on the season, I think, definitely. So, a really interesting race. And then we got to the end and those last couple of corners, and Norris is flying ahead. And then all of a sudden there's Perez with no front wing on. And you're like, oh, there's another position for Norris. So, yeah, good on the McLaren driver today. Sainz, started third, did really well in qualifying, but just kind of fell away. And I do wonder if there was either an issue with the car, or he just couldn't get the tyres to work or something, but he just didn't really have the pace. He did get the fastest lap in the end. I think he made a pit stop quite late on because he had the buffer to Kvyat. But, not brilliant today. But yeah, those were just my thoughts then on the Styrian Grand Prix. Round 2 of the season is done, and now we're off to Hungary next week. Now, before I go, just want to thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. That happened this morning. I didn't expect it to happen this morning, so thank you so much to anyone who has subscribed or just watching the content. Really do appreciate it. Don't really know what I want to do for 1,000 subscribers yet in terms of what video I want to make, whether it be a Q&A or a maybe react to old videos. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go back to 2012. I really don't want to go back to 2012, but let me know what you want down in the comments below, and I will I'll do what's the most thumbs up down in the comments. So yeah, thank you guys again, and I will see you later on in the week for another video. But until then, have a good one, guys.